Hi, it's Peg and Des on
Scandal!
So this week we saw Jake in the bed.
Just as I said last week, that's exactly where I wanted him, and he's there, bruised and battered.
Alright, before we dive in, let's remind you guys to please subscribe to our channel and rate our videos.
Absolutely, and make sure to check out the other videos on our channel. So much is happening in these episodes, sometimes I feel like they're 90 minutes instead of 60.
This episode was pretty packed between the lady with the bomb,
yes,
the guy, the other intruder into the White House. 2 intruders in one day. The White House, I don't think the security is up to par at the White House.
Right.
You got, what else went on? There was like a whole bunch of stuff. There was like something to do with David and Cyrus got into it.
Right.
Over the FBI files. You have Fitz trying to get Olivia out of a bomb situation. Olivia negotiating on behalf of a terrorist and being called a terrorist herself.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I think this week's event had so many different people involved, because usually when we see these episodic type of stories where something happens to someone who may not be related to the group, to the Spartans, or gladiators. Someone's not related to the gladiators. We don't see everybody in the frickin' show get involved. But this week, every single character was involved in that story somehow. The lady, I actually felt very badly for her because Olivia was not able to tell her the truth. I was actually wondering if Olivia was going to defy the president and tell her the truth, but we saw that she decided not to.
I knew that she wouldn't, because the way that the president positioned the situation, she really didn't have a choice, because he kept saying there's 75 or however many other lives at
57.
stake. 57 other lives at stake. We can't risk those lives. But I mean, I kept thinking, well, why couldn't you just tell the mother, look, don't say anything about this? But I guess they couldn't trust her necessarily.
No, you can't trust people with that. With that level of secret, because her whole thing is her son has not been buried properly. Her son's name has been slandered, and her family's name has been slandered. So if you tell someone in that position, this is the information that we know, it's all inaccurate, and or what you thought was wrong and what everyone is telling you is wrong, that person's going to want to go out and change the game.
Well, especially since her son was killed accidentally by the FBI, not knowing he was involved in this.
And still in the morgue, though. That's the other thing.
She can't. When they said that,
she can't even have a proper burial for him, so she cannot be trusted with this information. It's unfortunate, but she can't be.
Yeah, I felt so bad when she blew herself up, though. I really did. And you could tell Olivia felt terrible. I felt like this is going to be another wedge between Olivia and Fitz.
Right.
Because I know in her heart of hearts, Olivia blames him for putting her in the position of not being able to help that woman. And, I guess they have to put obstacles in their way. And
I don't think she blames him for that.
I feel like she would. Yeah.
No, I don't know. She didn't strike me as that unreasonable.
She did say to him on the phone call, I can't believe you're putting me in this position.
Yeah, but that's not the same as blaming him for the... it's a tough position to be put in, but I don't know that she is actually blaming him for why the situation is as it is. It just kind of is what it is.
I just think
57 lives at stake.
I just think it's another thing between them. It's not the major thing, but it's like just one more thing that's messed up about their relationship.
She certainly didn't help when she had Jake call Fitz.
That was awesome.
When Jake called Fitz, because he was all ready to hear her voice on the other end of the phone, and then he hears Jake. And I thought it was so funny when he said, you're not going to get to save the day.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the superhero in this story, sir.
Right, but he wasn't the superhero in this story. And who was waiting for her when she got home? Jake.
I thought the two of them sitting on that couch like old slaves was so unfortunate as they were talking about Olivia's father holding every person in his life captive.
Well, Olivia's father, the whole thing with Huck, last week he almost choked Olivia trying to find out the deal. You thought this week he was going to kill him, and instead he kills someone for her father. And I have to admit, I don't know that I necessarily buy that level of brainwashing. I had trouble with understanding what the deal is there.
He even referred to him, though, when he came outside. First of all, Olivia's dad is not surprised by anything. I mean, Huck sneaks up on everybody and scares the crap out of everyone. He pops out the trailer and is like, hey, soldier, I saw you following me earlier.
But because he's trained, he's the guy that trained him. He's the one that made him, essentially. Or people like him.
Doesn't change the fact that the man popped up out of nowhere and he didn't even so much as flinch. And
well, he also said that Huck is slipping. And I think that Huck was kind of probably sloppy about the way that he was following.
What do you mean probably? He was definitely. Don't you remember when they were on the sidewalk and he almost walked into Eli?
Right. Yes.
Yeah, like he actually bumped into him, seemed like, and then had to walk around him.
Right.
I was actually thinking that he was slipping. It seems like as Quinn's skills get better, his get worse.
Well, because Huck is emotionally stunted right now. Ever since he had that episode last season, he was like in a corner, wouldn't talk to anybody. He's slipping. Quinn is coming up, but she still needed Huck, right? She couldn't figure out how to hack into the FBI.
Right. I mean, the last thing that she'd hacked into was Olivia's email, so I'm going to give her some credit and say that that's a big leap to get into the FBI database. But either way, when Huck went inside of the trailer to kill the man from Remington, I actually got a little lost in this part of the episode because I couldn't figure out why he was being killed. I couldn't figure out why Eli was there to give him money, why he was no longer spending it. There were just so many unanswered questions, and perhaps they're supposed to be unanswered, and maybe they'll be revealed in future episodes, but there was a lot there.
Well, one flaw I thought that existed was I assumed that the only reason this guy was alive still was because he had stored whatever information he had somewhere, and he basically said, if I don't turn up for a certain amount of time, this information is going to get released.
Right.
Which is usually what anyone who's blackmailing someone does. But apparently this guy didn't have that kind of protection and was easily killed by Huck.
I just don't understand, how could a man like Eli, what was it that was keeping him alive up until the point that Huck killed him?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I thought it was that he basically, his information was so devastating and that he had created a provision such that if he all of a sudden disappears,
right,
it's going to get out. So, but maybe, I mean, I just sort of retconned that. I guess that wasn't really the case.
Right, I mean, I would hope that that's the case because that's the only way that would make sense to me, considering that Eli is notorious for killing anybody who he has a problem with. Right. Like Olivia said, if he keeps you alive, it is for a reason. You're either there for a purpose or you are dead. And so that to me was unsettled. Maybe, I don't know if that's by virtue of the writing or if that's just by virtue of the fact that we need to hang in there for a couple more episodes.
I think we'll find out more information about what this guy has, and I don't understand why he stopped spending the money either, but I guess we're going to find out. I will say this, I love Scott Foley. I think he's so cute. But that scene on the couch between Olivia and Jake, when she was, going on like, why are you here? If you're alive, it's for a reason. Are you spying on me? I felt like his level of response to her wasn't emotionally where it needed to be, because she was just coming at him with all of this emotion, and I just didn't feel it back from him. I was a little bit disappointed with that, because the scenes between Tony Goldwyn and Kerry Washington are always so fraught with everything. They're just so good, and I don't know, I felt like Scott Foley wasn't quite hitting the mark there.
He's tired. He is tired. He's been beaten down, beaten up for months on end. He's been in a hole. He's been urinating and pooping on himself. And Olivia's dad has been literally pummeling him. Drops him off on a doorstep, and he just doesn't have the energy for it. Fitz is fortunate because he's got 2 women at the house, and he's living the life. So he's got all kinds of energy for those verbal jousts. I actually did believe Jake. Jake looked, to me, he looked genuinely bewildered. I mean, he didn't have all the emotion that you're talking about, but he did look to me like he just didn't know why he was around. And he actually looked like he was a little scared. The more she talked, the scareder he looked like he got. Almost like he was saying to himself, well, maybe she's right. Why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing next?
I mean, in that part of it, yes. But when they sat down on the couch, I forgot exactly what they were talking about. It fell off for me. The scene I really loved was between Fitz and Mellie. When he came in and found her drunk.
Hooch!
And on the hooch, and I love those scenes where they start to reminisce about, their relationship when they were younger, and it seemed like they had a better relationship then, and they have these common memories. And when he sat down, there's something so comfortable about their relationship. That moment, I felt like this man's gonna be married to Mellie until he's dead. For real.
Well, until she kills him. Mellie is not going to let him go anywhere for a number of reasons.
Yeah, exactly. I sort of thought, and she asked him like if he wanted to have sex on the table, and I thought, he could possibly do it.
I thought it was funny that she said with me.
Yes.
Right? Like, I'm sure you have gotten it popping on this table. I'm wondering if you're interested in doing so with me this evening.
Or that you would want to have sex on this table.
But again, with me. I'm talking about me right now. Right. Just you and me today. But I loved her saying that she needs Olivia to stick around, because how else is she going to control her husband? How can she do the puppet dance with her husband?
Right, and she said, how can I continue this personal war? And so I can't quite figure Mellie out. Sometimes I think the reason why she acts the way that she does with Fitz is just because she still loves him and is so angry that he doesn't love her back. But other times I think she's past that, and she just hates his guts too. And she just wants to win.
Right.
And I feel like I feel like both those things can be true.
Well, hate is just another form of love.
Right.
That's all that is. I mean, if she were indifferent and she were walking through the house, talking about, I don't care where he is, what he does, I'm just living, then you would know that she was disengaged and done. But her actions, the way she engages with him, all that hate just lets me know there's still a lot of love there, because that's a lot of energy that she's giving him.
Yes.
Cyrus, I really want to understand Cyrus's involvement in Remington. This whole Remington thing,
Yeah.
I needed to just shape up a little bit better, because I don't quite understand all the characters. And of course, this is to bring me back next week, which I will be, but I do want to understand what Cyrus has to do with Remington.
Yeah, that's not clear to me either.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he knows about it, if he knows a little bit about it.
Or if he's just so scared of Olivia's dad that he's doing whatever that man tells him to do just off the strength of his reputation.
That could be part of it as well.
Right. So I think there are a number of things at play there, but here's what I did love about Cyrus this week. Cyrus is quick to tell somebody off. He stays in tell-off mode.
Yeah.
This week, David came in and was like, listen.
Oh, that was awesome.
If because Cyrus, again, starts with the tell-off, and David's like, listen, I can do any number of things. I may not have that Citron card anymore, but please don't play with me.
Yes.
I can go toe-to-toe with you too, Cyrus.
Yes. David just gave him the smackdown. He just let him rant on and try to make him feel small, and then he said one name, and Cyrus had to close the door, and I was like,
Have a seat. Have a seat.
You met your match, Cyrus.
Every time I see David in those scenes, he just starts to, I'm not physically attracted to him, but I can see he and Abby tussling. I like that. Like last season that he was looking real weak laying on Olivia's couch?
Yes.
Last season I really wasn't feeling him, but now that he's back in Power Man mode, he's shaved and got good clothes on, talking real slick and nasty to people to get moral things done. I think about him and Abby together making it happen, and her tossing that red stripper hair everywhere.
They're still flirting. They're still trying.
They have the kind of flirtation I think is so fun. That banter flirtation. I like that. You know who I want to see popping is Columbus Short. I want somebody to give him more than 3 lines in an episode. I want somebody to show him some attention. I love his lips. He's a little short for me, but I do want to see more from him.
I thought that when that fake FBI agent came up to him to talk to him about something, I was like, finally, he's gonna get some play. And she was on screen for like 2 seconds, but immediately I'm like, all right, here we go. This is gonna be the one.
Give me something, Columbus.
He's saying the same thing to the writers. Give me something. All right, next week we're gonna see what goes down. I'm hoping Olivia and Jake get it on. I'm waiting for that.
I think Olivia's dad installed a camera in Jake's eye so that every time Jake looks at Olivia, her father can actually see her through Jake's eye, and Jake doesn't even know it.
That's kind of creepy. All right, so remember guys, subscribe to our channel and let us know what you think in the comments.
Absolutely, and make sure to check out the other videos on our channel.
All right, bye.
Goodbye.